pause it.
Okay.
My name's Michelle Perry, and I work with CS for All Teachers, housed at the American Institutes for Research. I'm pleased to welcome you to our first webinar for the school year, the Back to School CS Mixer. Before we get started, please introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you are, what you teach, and if you'd like, share a couple of things that you might be doing online or blended learning that you may be incorporating into your back to school learning. So while we're getting started, if you want to add that information to the chat so we can see who's with us tonight. Next slide. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. You'll notice at the bottom of your screen that you can mute and unmute and switch between computer and phone audio. For tonight, we'd ask you to please keep yourself muted until the question and answer, until we're allowing conversation. If you'd like to share your webcams, you can do so. You can also view the participant list and the chat as well. Next slide. At the bottom, you'll also see options for interaction and reaction to the information that's being shared. You'll see a reaction button where you can show clapping, thumbs up. In the participant list, you can raise your hand, thumbs up, thumbs down, other items. Primarily, you'll probably want to use a raise hand feature if you want to ask a question, but you're welcome to do so at any point in the chat throughout the night. Next slide. And finally, just some tips about viewing the screen if you're not familiar with Zoom. In the upper right, you can click on the speaker or gallery view to view the video who's speaking or everyone who's in the room, or you can adjust how the room looks to you, seeing the PowerPoint and the videos. In the top view options, you can select a side-by-side mode or however you'd like to view your screen. So without further ado, I am going to pass this over to our host for the evening, our CS for All Teachers Ambassador, Naomi Harm.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you so much for everyone joining us. It looks like we've got a wonderful participation from our teachers tonight. Please remember, we hope that you can share your creative expertise because we'd love to learn with you, so make sure that you're using that chat feature. Our workflow of tonight is that we've got 3 amazing and incredible teacher friends that will be sharing their expertise of how to really excite teachers and students when it comes to teaching and learning in the hybrid blend or virtual learning when it comes to computer science. And we are so thankful that you're joining us tonight. Our back to school mixer is exactly that. We're mixing it up. We're giving you 3 amazing topics with all kinds of different activities and resources to add to your digital toolbox. So what I'd like to also share with you, our workflow of information that we'll be sharing with you over the course of the next hour is that we've got some great tips and tricks and resources, as I've mentioned before, and we've collated these. So we're going to make sure that we get this Google document to you. Yet, even after this webinar, as it's being recorded, you'll have full access to the webinar to go back and share with your teacher friends. We are so excited because we have computer science, we have STEM, we have maker education activities too. And all of these can be replicated and introduced tomorrow in your classroom. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce Dave, our Assistant Professor of Teaching Development from St. University of St. Cloud, Minnesota. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on tonight, and it's going to be a great session. We've got some amazing people lined up. So in addition to being an assistant professor of teacher development here at SCSU, I'm also an Osmo ambassador and have been for many, many years. So I, as a classroom teacher, love to be able to integrate this tool into my everyday experience with students. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Osmo, we've got a great visual on screen right now that describes how it works. It's super easy. You take either an iPad or a select Amazon tablet, and you put on a red reflector, which is a really complex piece of plastic with a mirror in it. The complexity does come from the angles and the geometry behind it that allows the computer vision to work. But then you put your iPad or tablet in the base, and then Osmo will actually scan the table on an ongoing basis to be able to really make a magical experience throughout their different learning apps. So on our next slide, what we'll see is we will see some great opportunities for us to be able to talk about how tangible experience kind of really is the foundation of Osmo. So where many times we'll have ed tech that is completely digital. In fact, all three of the pieces featured today from our different speakers are all very tangible forms of technology. So that's a pretty neat thing. But Osmo uses actual tiles or tangrams or coding blocks, just like you would find in other popular systems. And the tangible aspect is what really makes Osmo a lot different than other pieces, because students get to either work together or work individually on a number of different challenging activities that are leveled and kind of progress based off of how students do. There are a number of different learning apps that Osmo has produced that really focus on different learning skills rather than just fun and games. So this is one piece that sets Osmo apart from other kind of activities that we might do with our students, is we're not flashcard based, rather they're skill oriented. So as students go through activities, they're going to find different skills and they'll progress. There are also parent and teacher portals where they can go in and see how students are doing. But it's not like other learning portals that you might be familiar with in other like more learning management style portals. This provides kind of like a whole view at how each student is doing within the world of Osmo, and provides great opportunities for us to celebrate learners and be able to see what successes they've had, or share what type of art they've created within different Osmo apps. There are also tons of really cool collaborations that are going on. So one of the partners is Baiju, which is the largest ed tech company out of India. And Baiju and Osmo do some really deep integrations. Some of those things are coming out this year, and you'll be able to see them if you follow along anything on social media with Osmo. The other one is with Robotic, and that is creating fun and whimsical pieces that are more appropriate for even littler learners. So they partnered with Robotic around 3-year-old to 5-year-old learning apps. As we take a look at our next slide, I want to be able to focus on how Osmo has really kind of persevered through distance learning. One piece that I share with my students here at St. Cloud State is that Osmo is very high touch. So all of the pieces that we use with Osmo constantly need to be cleaned or disinfected, and that has been a challenge in this current time of either hybrid learning, distance learning, or staying 6 feet away from everybody and disinfecting everything as we go. So Osmo has a couple of different options. The first one is they have all plastic pieces available to schools. So instead of just going to Target or Amazon, schools can go right to Osmo to be able to purchase kits with plastic pieces. Osmo also has ventured into some new opportunities around distance learning, being able to provide live classes where Osmo has actually collaborated with world-class teachers nationwide, many of which actually come out of the Midwest. And then they are able to host courses for students. So families or homeschool pods are able to access different learning opportunities through that. The second piece that Osmo has really kind of forged the ground in distance learning, Naomi, if you could go to that next slide, is looking at Osmo Projector. So Osmo Projector is the anywhere document camera. You need just a couple of pieces. You need your newish iPad, so that'd be any iPad that has a lightning port connector on the bottom, and then you need your Osmo base. So being able to take the base and the reflector along with the free Osmo Projector app turns your iPad into a document camera. So as we look at the three images that are displayed, we can see the first image shows a child and their work. So Osmo allows us to use Osmo Projector in this distance learning world that we're now finding ourselves in through screen sharing through either Google Meets or Skype, Microsoft Teams or Zoom, and we're able to, with the red reflector, actually see what students are doing. That's so different than what we have normally been able to do, which is kind of like today where I'm holding up an iPad. Now, when we ask a 5-year-old to show an example of their work, and they're on a device with a webcam and they're holding it up, it's going to be really hard for us to understand what that student is really doing and what skills they have. But as we shift and bring it to the device, we can see that using Osmo Projector as an anywhere document camera allows students to be able to share what's on their screen and be able to share that back even with what is on their tabletop, because Osmo, once again, is scanning that tabletop all the way through the session. This works on all the different video platforms that support screen sharing, and it works so that you can actually have multiple students sharing their screens because it acts as a webcam. So if you wanted to see kind of what everyone is thinking at the same time, you could have each student just turn that on within their webcam settings. Now, there's so many great uses for Osmo Projector. I wanted that to kind of be the big highlight of what I'm sharing today. From a teacher use, we've seen Osmo Projector be used to be able to demonstrate handwriting, folding skills, fine motor skills, even play piano. From that learner side, we've seen Osmo come up in all sorts of different really cool partnerships, and one of them ends up being the ECC Preschool for Special Education program out of Prince George's County Public Schools. And what they're doing within that program is, since all of their students already have iPads, they went ahead and purchased just the really rather inexpensive base with the red reflector and issued all of those to their students. Being able to do that allowed this specific department within Prince George's School District to be able to shift what those learners are able to share with their teachers throughout this distance learning time. And I know I already have a hard enough time connecting with my students who are future teachers. So being able to think around how to connect with very little students can even be more challenging. So that's a great innovative way to put Osmo in student hands to be able to have that partnership within the learning process. So we can go ahead and take a look at that next slide. Osmo is really taking a look at what opportunities they have for really designing more education-specific usages. Because Osmo didn't start off as an education company, they started off as a group of Google engineers creating games that made more sense for their own children. So Osmo has redeveloped all of their pieces and are slowly rolling out plastic pieces across the board. New apps come out every couple of months. In fact, they have a new set of apps coming out in just a couple of days that's pretty exciting. And then there are more and more school partnerships, like Prince George's example, that are being developed throughout the nation. Throughout 2020 and 2021, you can expect a lot more of these things to happen, and for Osmo to continue supporting teachers within this distance learning environment, because we know that there's going to be a blip in our time when we are not going to have that high touch aspect in education anymore. As an educator, that makes it hard for me to connect around learning. So Osmo's coming up with some new ideas around that. So we can go ahead and take a look at our last slide here. So Osmo, I let them know about this awesome session that we invited y'all here for today, and they wanted to give back to all of you. So if you visit the bit.ly on your screen right now, so quick, take a screenshot, that's bit.ly or bit.ly/try Osmo Projector. You do need those capital letters, and I think that it's in this chat right now. There we go. So that's going to bring you to a Google form. Each teacher here tonight can request 1 or 2 of these sample kits. It's completely up to you, but we do ask that you limit it to 2. I've secured a specific number for tonight, and once they're gone, they're gone. So in a couple of days, you can share this link with your friends, absolutely, but I want to make sure that everyone on the call tonight is able to get in. We do ask that you send them to your home address, not your school address, and that you know that if you put in a duplicate request, all requests are going to be blocked. This is something that we are really excited to do, and I let Osmo know about this great webinar. They were super excited to partner. So the Osmo Projector Sampler Kit is not a full Osmo set, but it's an experience that you'll be able to play with for a couple of days. And then it is a real projector red reflector. So as long as you are careful with the set, you'll be able to use Osmo Projector longer than the sampler trial. I really want to thank y'all for the time and for learning a little bit more about Osmo. Be sure to click that link tonight, and then later this week, share it with your friends.
Dave, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I signed up right away. It's like, I can't wait to use this with my granddaughter. I can't wait to use this with the students that I work with when I coach other teachers and share them. You got me all excited. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Dave, this is awesome. Well, let's give a little bit more I wanted to share with you. I want to make sure that Dave's great teaching strategies that he shared today, and especially with addressing with the tangibility and actually making learning so much more visual for them and tangible, which is so important. We made sure that we have a great teacher resource from We Are Teachers, where it really talks about how you can manage your students, whether you're in a face-to-face environment, if you're in a hybrid blend, or if you're totally virtually connected with your kiddos. What is that aspect of teaching and learning? Plus, we included the video clip of the Osmo Projector of everything that Dave just shared, so everyone will gain that great insight. So thank you so much. If you have any questions right now for Dave, please add them to the back channel chat. So we have Dave right here now so that he can answer any of those, that if you have further questions. So I'm just gonna bring up that chat right away. Everybody's giving me some great shout outs, Dave. It looks wonderful. Okay, as we continue on, if you have more questions, please make sure to add them to the chat, and we can pause after each presenter because we want to make sure that you have that personalized access to them so that it can be really relevant to talk about the learning that's taking place. But Dave, again, thank you so much. We can't wait to see the exciting things that are going to be coming out shortly. And you said only in a few days. Oh my goodness, we're all going to be just chomping at the bit. Oh, this is good. Okay, thanks Dave so much.
Yeah,
and thanks
thank you.
for all you do. You're making such a difference with the quality of teachers that you are helping educate to be phenomenal teachers that are going to be teaching our next generations of our students. So thank you so much. Okay, Colleen, she is here tonight all the way from Texas, and she is wears her hat of a creative director of curriculum for Makey Makey. So Colleen, I'll turn it over to you, dear friend.
Yeah, hi everybody, it's good to see you. I work for Joy Labs, and we're the umbrella company that created Makey Makey, and we're also an EdTech research and development lab that specializes in tinkering, invention, and playful learning. Because people always ask that, what is Joy Labs versus Makey Makey? So there's a little shout out. Uh-oh, my audio is not good, you guys. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Let me check and make sure it's on me and not my microphone. All right, so you can actually switch to the next one. I'm really happy to be here tonight because I have been working since COVID started on all these resources for teachers because as soon as we were sent home in March, I started creating at-home classes for students because I'd watched like Mo Willems doing a free class for kids on YouTube, and I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to get stuff out there for kids, and I didn't want to do live. I did actually do live webinars too, so you can go see some of those, and there is a link in the resources that'll send you to all of those webinars that we have been hosting as Joy Labs. So right now, if you have heard of Makey Makey, I'd like to know if you can use the reactions in the bottom and put a thumbs up, and I should be able to see how many people have actually heard of Makey Makey. This is our little invention kit, and right now we are offering a promo where we're sending it home for, the shipping is free for students. So if you were to buy like 30 Makey Makeys, which is a lot, then it would send it straight home to kids. And we would pay for the shipping, so it would go to each kid individually. That's ending this week. So, my hands are just moving, Naomi. I am just talking hands everywhere. So.
Okay.
It's really funny. So this is a good one to be on. I think this is where I want to be. I created 14 classes geared towards students at home that will also benefit teachers. Teaching STEM from a distance, or if you're in person, and this would have been focused on for 6 months, but I have hundreds of STEAM projects with Makey Makey for you, just for teachers, for people at home, whoever wants to make them, but they are mostly designed for actually using in classrooms. So in the last 6 months, right now I'm at 14. Last week I was at 12, and by the end of the week I hope to be at 16 and be finished. So I have 16 guides. Students will learn about conductivity, they'll learn basic circuitry, and if you have never used a Makey Makey, they're really amazing. They look like a Nintendo controller. They're very accessible for kids because they feel like, this looks like something fun, right? So I actually, thanks Dave, this graphite is one of the things in our class that I just put because my daughter actually inspired me to do this. We were trying to teach other kids about an open and closed circuit, and I was like, how can we fold the paper and the drawing so we can show what Makey Makey does? And this is exactly what Makey Makey does. It opens and closes. It shows that when a circuit is open and closed. So when I press on space, then the circuit is closed. And you can see in the GIF, however you want to say it, on one side we have an alligator clip, and on the other side we have an alligator clip. One is earth and one is space. And so when those two drawings connect, it's the same as me pressing with my finger right here. So that's pretty amazing. So then you take that concept and you learn about even creating more switches. You've got the paperclip switch there, and then a tilt switch made out of toilet paper, which is just a metal ball that connects left and right. Now, there are some apps that you can just use straight up with Makey Makey, and there are some that you have to code yourself. So we're here for CS for All, so we're going to talk about coding because that's what we're into, right? So let's look at the next slide, Naomi, and I think we've got, this is another good visual of the open and closed circuit. I'm going to create conductive pads, and anything I connect my alligator clips to, I can now code it to do something for me. So this one project I've been working on recently is sharing. If you are overwhelmed, because I'm going to share a lot of projects, I make so many things for Makey Makey, it's important to have one good concept when you leave. So we really think it's important that you see the world as reformable, and it's something that you can change. And so that's why it's really cool that you can use everyday things like pencil drawings and foil. And if I'm overwhelming you, take this one project and try this one project, and you can tune me out on the rest of it. But on this project, you just take a simple concept like a poster and you make it interactive by coding conductive touch points. So by conductive touch points, I mean anything that has conductivity. This foil is conductive, this cardboard is not, it's an insulator. So I can take foil and I can put it on my poster, or I can take paper clips, or I can do a simple drawing. And I actually did bring the one I really, really like and I wanted to show you. So I gotta move a little bit out of my own space because this is what Dave was saying, right, about sharing. So sorry to see my back, but I don't think my scratch screen wants to be very friendly to me though tonight. I don't think you guys can see it. So this, and I really should not be able to hear it either. So maybe this is all for naught. But when I touch the drawing, right, the scratch screen's gonna go up. You're gonna be able to see it when you go. And there's actually a video, but you have to touch them in order. Let me see if I can do it in order while I'm talking to all of you. I have to touch the butterfly egg. Oh wait, you can see the drawing a little better. So a butterfly starts as an egg. It grows into a fully formed caterpillar. You guys, it's impossible to do this. And I knew that when I set out to do it, and I tried it anyway. So that's what you do when you're a real teacher, right? You try it anyway when it's too hard. Live demos Always hard. I'm going to try one more time. So, egg, caterpillar, pupa, butterfly, egg. I also can't ever remember. Is that bad? Where won't she go? I'm so sad. Well, it's supposed to trigger a butterfly on the screen. Of course, it's not working because it's too many pieces and parts for me to do all at once. You can see it when it flashes. Thanks. Thanks, Naomi. I appreciate it. It was working right beforehand, you know, so I know it's not anything other than me being stressed and trying to do it all at once. So if you're still confused, it's kind of like a light switch. So the circuit is on and it's off. And I can actually hook this up to Makey Makey. You know what? I'll do this just to make this really fun. I'll go ahead and show you a live demo that I know is going to work. Now I'm going to change the drawing from the pupa. The pupa was working, right? Scratch is also really flaky. Now it's talking. The Scratch is really flaky on an iPad sometimes. So I've got these on, and I'm going to turn on this drawing. Ta-da! So now it's always on because Makey Makey's made it on. I'm going to turn that piece of the life cycle off. So you can do this with up to 18 different touch points in Makey Makey, which makes it really fun. So one other project I'm working on, which I won't plug in, but this is one that you get to sneak preview, is pixel art finger paint. So you're actually going to use math coordinates. You're going to plot them in Scratch, and as you touch each one, Scratch is going to draw what you're doing. So this is another one that I'm really excited about. And I just actually published this secret code project where you take paper clips and you make a little sheet music. So you're going to code your own synthesizer. And this is our Earth, and each of these is a key press. And if I press the music in the right order, it triggers special effects in Scratch. So you can see here, these are the first beginner classes that are here on the sharing on your screen. Those are the first 8 classes. So kids are going to learn how to craft a circuit. They're going to learn how to play with Makey Makey with their hands. They're going to learn what items in their house are conductive. They're going to draw instruments, and then they're going to learn how to actually code key presses, and then craft stories in Scratch. So like that interactive poster, I made mine a life cycle, but it could be something more fun. It could just be all stories, and each touch point you touch tells a story. And then I had to get a little bit outside of Scratch. You can use Makey Makey with lots of other platforms like code.org and Make Code Arcade. And so I made a Make Code Arcade lesson where you have to remap a second Makey Makey, which means you change the keys on the Makey Makey. And you can play 2-player games on Make Code Arcade with Makey Makey, and that's pretty fun. And then the last one in the beginner class is kind of my favorite. It's the draw and code a poem generator. So every time you touch a drawing, Scratch is going to pick a random number from your sounds and actually give you a random poem. So it's a way to teach kids about variables, teach them about using random, and then being able to actually have different things play. So that's where you get a little more complex. And then because I love you and I know that it's really hard out there right now for teachers, and I'm really sad I can't go volunteer in classrooms like I normally do. This time last year, I was doing a design thinking project in school, and I don't know when I'm going to get to go back to doing things in school, but I have been trying to teach virtually and volunteer to teach virtually, which is pretty fun. And I mean, it's fun, but it's challenging. It's fun in that it's new and challenging. So I made these embeddable Google Slides for each class. So this is the first week of the lessons, is using making your own simple circuit and then playing a human piano. And then you can learn a little bit about invention literacy and even the idea of a virtual Makey Makey. So if you want to share that in the chat, and someone's already asked me about my adapter. Well, you can actually use the camera adapter, and I'll share a link when the next person's talking. I'll go grab it. This one that I use is an off-brand, and it doesn't happen to be there anymore. Oh, look, thanks, Dave. That's exactly it. And that's because the iOS in Apple has just changed to allow for key presses for USB keyboards. It didn't used to do that before March, so that's pretty awesome new step. We can go to the next slide, Naomi. So here is the Oh, someone loves my math activity. Oh, it's Naomi. Yeah, thank you. I'll bring it back up because I'm actually working on it and it's really fun. But the butterfly sequence is really fun because it uses the secret code hat in Scratch, and I haven't seen a lot of people use it. So Makey works in Scratch without having an extension, but you can use the extension, and it kind of just gives the kids a better grasp on what key presses they can use, because there's something about it that some people look at this and right away they know they can code the arrow keys and space and click, which is difficult to code. But people a lot of times don't notice they have all these on the back they can do, WASDFG, and the mouse clicks and mouse arrows on the other side. But you can actually, so by using the extension, you'll have the right key presses. A lot of people just don't like see those straight out the bat, and some people do. But you can now use, thanks to Eric Rosenbaum, you can use the secret code hat. So how the drawing works is that if you touch up, right, down, left, which if I had had a keyboard right here, I could have just used my keyboard and shown you. And if I touch those in order, then it triggers the butterfly to fly. So it's just a really simple idea that I put out there that I'm hoping it gets people to come up with really cool ways to use the secret code hat. And then the second one that I did was this one where I kind of made this project more about building cardboard, and the life cycle one's a little more about coding. But this one, you're creating a code and you're color coding those musical notes. And once you press those in order, you're triggering a special animation in Scratch. And actually, in this one I teach you, there are only some key order available. So I teach you how to create your own variable for that in Scratch. So a lot of times people think, well, it's just not hard enough in Scratch for me to do this, but you can make really amazing things if you stick to it. And I've been really inspired by my own 11-year-old to make animations in Scratch. And so trying to do all those animations by hand in Scratch is really fun. Now, what if you don't have a Makey or you can't send them all home to students? What are you going to do? My idea is that you can use this virtual Makey. So I've made one for you, a Makey sprite in Scratch. And you can go to the project, the Scratch project, and just download that sprite to your backpack. And it's already coded to work on key presses. And my new goal right now is every class that I'm making, I'm kind of doing a code this action. So in that synthesizer one, I actually have code this synth, and your goal is you open the project and you have the notes there, but you have the image of the synthesizer there, but you have to code it to change change its costume so that it looks like the right note. You have to code the note to play, and you have to code the secret order. So that's a pretty fun class that I just finished. And I did make a peanut butter, and just because you're saying Scratch and Makey go together, I did make a peanut butter and banana sequence project that I've been trying to do the video for. And it is, can you cut the banana? I wish I had just pulled it up and showed it to you now, but it's also kind of clunky. Do I put bananas first? Do I touch bread first? It's kind of another one of those really fun sequence things. And I also have a pizza one where I was going to have kids code this pizza. So there's lots of stuff I work on that don't even get all the way out sometimes. But those two are really good examples of using the virtual Makey. So when you have a virtual Makey in your project, in fact, Naomi, I know I've told you to share that one clip of the video. Let's share that real quick so they see what it looks like. And I'll stop talking for just a second.
You can use this virtual Makey sprite in any of your projects. All you have to do is click on See Inside, and here's the sprite that we want. We're going to grab our backpack and open it up and take the virtual Makey sprite and throw it in the backpack. If you want to use the back of the board sprite, you can too, but the front side is what we're going to look at for now. Then if I go to create a new project under Create, now all I have to do is open my backpack, and there is my virtual Makey sprite. I can add it in, and now, let's see, why isn't it showing? Click, there it is. Now it's here, and it already is coded to light up if I'm pressing a click, space, up, down, left, or right. And
thanks, Naomi. Now, can you open this Scratch project? So I can, I just sent it to Cheryl Timmerman on accident. If you guys aren't aren't chatting with everyone. You have to remember that sometimes. So if you'll open the Scratch project for me, Naomi, I'll show how I'm thinking. I feel like you have to kind of see it to understand it. And,
So
and I know that, oh, I put it in the chat. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I could have just, or you can give me power and can I share my screen? Oh, I cannot. You're doing it. You got it.
Okay, let me know.
Right.
You be the navigator.
No, if you hit the green flag, so in this project, here's how this works. The kid is going to look at our lessons that I've designed, and they're building this tilt sensor. So this tilt sensor that we talked about with the toilet paper roll, and they don't have a makey. They can still build a toilet paper roll. They can still use the coding in Scratch. And if you're loaning these out, then they'll at some point they're going to know they get to hook up their invention to see if it works. So Naomi, if you just press left and right on your computer, your arrow keys, you can see the tilt is already working for Naomi when she tilts left and right, but the cat doesn't tilt yet. And that's because the kids are going to hit remix and they're going to code this cat. So this is how you would use a virtual makey. And you can do this with any project. I've started doing it where I've made a couple of them, but I actually was inspired to do this for my own daughter when we were doing alarm systems, and she made a virtual makey in Google Jamboard and was showing how to use makey. And I thought, what a great way to use a product if you don't have it in your hands. So that's it. That's the virtual makey.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm going to come back on and join you just a minute. I want to give you a huge shout out. So Colleen, thank you so much. And I love when you present because you do things just right on the fly. And I love it that it doesn't always have to be so planned and prepared. That's how authentic teaching is every single day, because things change all the time. So thank you so much for being such a creative spirit and giving us that new inspiration to think differently of how we can use makey in the classroom. So go ahead, Colleen, you were going to share something else.
Oh no, I just forgot. You were talking about being on the fly. Can you guys see that this makes a star? So you can actually make a triangle, but when in Scratch, you can touch the different points and only make a, what's a 5-sided pentagon?
Pentagon?
Right? Yeah,
and
so we're doing geometry and we're plotting coordinates, right? And then in Scratch, you have to do so much work. So this it's about to come out. This is like one of my most complex. This is probably too complex, but it's fun. And those of you who have been using makey a long time, you'll love doing something a little more complicated. But even though I think the secret code is not too complicated. It's fun and adds another element. And
Colleen,
my floor piano, I love that.
Yes, exactly. And I want to give you a huge shout out. So we have a book that a bunch of us as women leaders from the Midwest put together, 100% free for teachers to use nationwide or worldwide. But it's called just an Engineering Derby Digital Toolkit. And so when we work with students and teachers and parents together as a team, we pull this book out, which is an ebook created in Book Creator, and we share the how and the why and incredible examples. And we actually have students that will create these pianos, makey pianos, as part of their design challenges. But we also love the support as what you've modeled so well, Colleen, in literacy as well. And the DALI book is just a prime example of how literacy is such a beautiful component to tell a story, to inspire students to get a more visionary aspect of what they can create and make, and then create something 10 times they ever thought they could have done and making it that much better. So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing this.
Oh, absolutely. And we have lots of ideas in this book, but our motto is together we're better. There's no way we can know it all, but if we can collectively share our creative intelligence to share out what's working, what's not, and work together to find a new solution to really inspire our kids to be those creators of their futures. So that's why it's here.
I love that.
Okay, thanks so much, Colleen. Appreciate your inspiration. Let's continue on, friends. We're going to go and give a little bit more of a shout out as well. So if you have more questions for Colleen, please add them to the back channel chat, and we'll make sure that we have time by the end of our session tonight that you can get those questions answered, I should say, or if you need more guidance or resources, we could even put some of that in there as well too. Well, we have a great teacher friend coming now. I'd like to welcome Javier. He is coming all the way from Texas as well. He's an amazing teacher friend. He's a computer science teacher, but also he does so much with Lego education, and he just has got so many ideas. I just an advocate for him very much because I love what he's doing with kids. I love what he's doing with teachers, and he will leave your inspiration toolbox filled with all kinds of ideas tonight. So Javier, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I'm a pre-K to fifth grader teacher in a Montessori school that everything is hands-on. I don't know how many of you love Legos at your schools, but it's something that I really want to share with you how I engage with my students for second graders, with my kinders and everything. So let's give you an example. For example, for my little ones, I use the big Legos because I don't want to have an incident or accident to put in the mouth or something happen to them. So big Legos for the pre-K to first graders. For my second to fifth graders, I use small Legos. So today I can be challenge you. You already bring Legos to this session, it's perfect. I want to share with you, this is something that I use with my second graders. I give you 20 Legos and I ask them to count it in front of me because I say, you are responsible for 20 Legos right now. If I give you 20, I don't want to see on the floor because it happens. I don't want to see or share with somebody else because you are responsible for your Legos. So I ask them, you have 1 minute to create something that begins with the letter L. So in that moment, I go around in the class on the computer lab, and I see the creations and ask the students what you created. So you share with the rest of the class what the creation. I believe so. This is a great engagement, and sometimes a teamwork because I'm saying, you know what, I can thinking about something right now to create with the letter L, and say, do you know what? Don't do it with L. Do with your first letter of your name, or try to do your name connected with Legos. So that is something that maybe you're thinking to use it with your little ones, and it's a great, like I said, engagement. So go to next, please. So something I like it to do with my kids is to using Lego bricks to build the letter or the first name of this animal. So I got to say with my students, so what is the name of this animal? All right, you know the name of the animal is dolphin. So give me the letter. So create it with all the Legos pieces you have. Created the letter. So they have creation, and I sometimes engage, challenge more my students. So I really want to connect it and make the letter for me. And sometimes the students put it separate and say, no, let's go try to put it, be creative. Use your creativity. So you push your students to do creativity at the same time, and at the same time it's fun for them to do something. Go to next, please. So one of my challenges and say, you know what, we can have you create a rocket. How many of you like rockets? So I see girls in my class really like rockets, and they say, do you want, I want to make it in different colors, so I want to do something excited. So and say you have 1 minute or 2 minutes to create something. So sometimes I say you have 20 pieces, but what happens if I ask you use another person, the 20 pieces, so you have total of 40 pieces together to combine and then see what is your creation. So you have already building the relationship to see teamwork and also creativity, one person and creativity for another person, and mix it and create a challenge. They can maybe as a team represented these two people. Go to next. So I sometimes say, you know what, let's do your creation, take a picture with the iPad, and let's go to see what you created, and you present it to the class and see what the other students give you on a feedback, what your creation. So it's a great interactive because all the students, they're excited to present it, and they share with the other students, and I see sometimes competition or like little, oh no, I do the best one, or no, you know what, girls versus boys. So I believe it's a great opportunity to also to challenge the students. So to next. I'm so sorry to go too fast, but I really want to have a good news about Coder C that I really want to share with everybody. Coder C is a company they're working right now with the virtual robotics that allows to teachers and students to do robotics virtually. In March, when this pandemic happened, they opened it to all teachers and they give you a free license to using it in the classroom. So I have contact with Codercy, and I see this as a great opportunity because students, they have their own robot. So you don't need to worry about to clean it or anything, to share with somebody else, or they break it out. So everything is virtual. I really see the engagement because it's the principles of computer science. It's also very engagement, and it's a drag and drop. Also, they use in Python, and it's an advanced courses. So you want to say, you know what, I don't know anything about robotics. It's a course, it is a beginner course that's very essential, and it's very, very helpful because they show you a video, they give you samples, and they have a like assistant for teachers, and it's very, very helpful, very engagement. So for the advanced session, you have Python. Python is the first language to really give you more affordable for advanced computer science students. They really see the advantage to using Python. Next, please. So this is some examples of the courses the Codercy offer. Right now they have the Lego challenge. The expires unfortunately tomorrow, September 30th, but if you want to try it tonight, you can more than welcome to do that. I requested to the Lego education department to see if it's possible to extend it because they supposed to stop in August, and I believe so give an extension to have more teachers and students to have this opportunity to trial. And hope so is still opening for future extension. But I still have right now another challenge from Amazon is the Hercules robot. They're using it in the distribution centers for Amazon. And I'll give you a little faster demonstration for saving time that I want to see how it looks like. Yes, next, please.
Ever wonder how Amazon delivers customer orders so quickly? Welcome to the Amazon Cyber Robotics Challenge. During this 3-hour coding adventure, you'll learn the basics of computer science, while also discovering how Amazon uses robotics every day to deliver millions of products around the globe. Your task? Code an Amazon robot to deliver your friend's birthday present as fast as possible. Compete with your class or on your own. Good luck, and may the best coder win.
Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Like I said, for saving time, I already have opening this Codercy and to give you a little demonstration of the products. Let me see, give me a thumbs up. You can see my screen. So the first thing I want to discuss with you is bits and bricks. This is more like for my second to, maybe I start using it for first graders for engagement. Let me give you a little demonstration. So I have my robot here, and let me skip this old presentation. So I go to the first challenge, we give instructions, and then I have my first challenge. So I have my robot. I need to move it from point A to point B. So I ask my students, you need to count the steps and what direction you need to move. So if I ask my robot here, I need to move. So let me move my screen right now. So I have the commands on the bottom here. And I said, you know what? I can maybe move it maybe 2 times right now. So I have my arrow to moving forward. And I can set how many times I need to move? 2 times. So if I say my students, you know what, this is a part of the computer science. You're working by segments or by little steps. So don't try to do everything at the same time. Let's code it in steps. So I can be asked them, so you know what, let's see you working and you go to the correct direction. So I run my first part of the program. And then I ask them, so what direction they need to go, up or down? So you need to go down. How many times you need to go down? So go down is only to turn the robot on. Sometimes they confuse the students to say, oh no, they need to move 3 times, and say, no, remember, the movement of the robot is only right now to give you direction to the robot to move to the right, correct? So you say, let's see what happened. All right, what's the next step? So I ask the students, count the blocks. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 steps that need to move straight. So you need to, your arrow, move 5 times, and let's continue to do by steps and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what is the next step? And said, you know what? Let's try again. You need to move to the right. How many times? Oh, okay, I got it already this time. And say 1 time. Okay, after that, what you need to move? You need to move forward your robot 2 times. So 1, 2. So I want to see 2 times to move. Let's see what happens. And I finished my first level. Second time, it's almost the same, and you have 2 options to mention to the students. In this particular project, you have 2 ways to solve this problem. You can go straight, or you can move your robot to the right and come over here. So it depends on the student, but it's already give you like a problem solving question for your students to start thinking about how they can solve this problem. And you can also demonstrate it only the first challenge, so they can students to start asking you questions or how to do it. And after that, you can maybe ask the students, I'm here to help you, but I'm not here to give you the solution. So you need to work in by yourself and looking what is the correct option. So that is one that I really use it for my second up to 5th graders and really like it. The next one that I really want to share with you, this is more for my kinders, when I showed them how to use the mouse. So this is an example how it works. So I have my play, they give you directions. Right, let's see. So everything is with the mouse. So the game is trying to avoid the hurt to touch you. So everything I'm using my mouse right now, and calculated, start don't touch me. So this is very engaged for my students to still practicing the mouse skills. Let me stop here so you can see it. And this is free. It's free accessible for teachers and students, and you can work in with that many times you want. So the next one is many students and girls like Batman. So let me put it for you. So here is Batman. It's almost the same concept. It's more like for keyboarding, to use the arrows and to avoid some kind of danger for the roll. I'm using only the up, left and right to collect points. And then move my little car over here. And then something is coming, so they can lose points for that. So students like it, really like it, because it's Legos, and at the same time it's a game for them. But it's more important for me that using the arrows and how important it is to understand how to use the arrows. Let me finish this game. Sorry for that, but I really fun on Legos. All right, let me go to the next one. Turn on my music. This one for my kinders and my until maybe 2nd graders. They like it because they choose the character. Let me see, it's already loaded. Okay, I believe so. It's taking time. Sorry for that, but I have a lot of application already opening for you guys. Okay, taking time. Maybe we can skip that one for saving time, because I really excited to show you something really more for upper graders. Let me close this one. This is one to really like it to show you. It's the Coder C. Coder C, like I said, allows you to do robotics. Let me start with the first option. So for my courses right now, I have the Coder C with Lego, and I have my Amazon. You notice here, I consider myself novice for my for my 2nd graders. So I select my course, I go to the challenge, and I use mission 3, for example, right now to give a demonstration very quick. Coder C takes a lot sometimes of your memory of your computer and also the internet connection, but it's really very graphic. And you can see here, you have the option to move the robot or you see your view. I move it right now, and you have more options down here with the plus sign. You can take measures, you can see the angle, you can see the resorting. So for example, right now, can I be run my robot 3 times, go straight. That is the command right now that I have it over here. I'm sorry. Okay, one more time. Sometimes they give you the message that says, be patient because it takes time. So I run in my program and see what happened with my robot. Like I said, this is really like it because they own student, they own their own robot. And you can see the progress of the student with the dashboard for the teachers. So this is one. Let me go to the next activity so I can show you. So you have Adventure Peak, you have all these challenge. So Frozen Island is one of my favorites too because it started using math and subtraction and also additions and some kind of multiplication as well. So I have here my commands on the left side, and the task for this one is to move your robot and go to the ramp, over the bridge, and go to the final destination. So I have my robot. And then I use the dimension 2. All right. Okay, let me continue with this one is expired tomorrow, but hopefully they give you an extension when I see the more educators that want to try the currency with Lego. The other one that really is Amazon. The Amazon is finished until December 30th, I believe so. And it's very, very helpful. Like you see in the video, the Hercules robot helps in the warehouses for the Amazon, how to reduce time to move around them. Let me show you my mission for this particular robot.
And Javier, we have just a few minutes. So if you want to show this, and then we'll close out our webinar with our supportive additional resources.
Yes, no problem. Yes, let me finish with this one. I'm so sorry, guys. I take too many time, but like I said, very Lego master educator, excited and when working with computer science and everything. Okay, all right, guys. Let me show you the last one. They give you like a challenge for to have in certain time finish the task. So let me see up here. My coder C is in my level 2 and mission 14. This one they're using loops. It's something in computer science to reduce steps in coding. And this is the task. You see the clock here. You have 30 seconds to move this bin, and to turn it into the Amazon person to order. You see, you go under the bins, you move the bin, and you go to the next bin. They have your item you're looking for. And you're running 7 seconds. And your robot tries to finish faster. You see, I lost for 1 second. But that's everything that I need to turn into you guys, but I'm really excited. Now I'm going to turn over to my friend Naomi. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Javier. I greatly appreciate your time and effort in which that you shared all of those exciting games, and especially the Lego education ones for our teachers that are on today. And knowing there was a question, just so making sure that we do get that answered as we just as we wrap up. But within our questions, there was also for the Coder Z, Javier, do you need to buy an account for Coder Z for each student, or how is that set up for clarification?
Yes, no, right now you have the option to request a 150 license for free. So you want more, you can request it as well, but it's free right now. Everything is free. Challenge with Amazon, if you finish the challenge, you participated in a 250 gift card for your school. when you demonstrated it, you have finished the challenge. It's free. It's free.
Okay, thank you so much, Javier. We greatly appreciate your efforts for that clarification. Please add any more questions that you do have, because we want to make sure that we do answer your questions before we close out our webinar tonight. The last thing that I'd like to share with you before I turn it over to Michelle, we just have some supportive resources. If you're looking for more creative ways to introduce hands-on play, which is, as we know, play is the highest form of research, to provide access and equity to children, please tap into our Engineering Derby Digital Toolkit ebook, and we've got all kinds of strategies that really support the literacy component, but all kinds of different levels of learning for pre-K through 12th grade. So we're so excited to share all these ideas with you. If you want even more, I put a collection together that I've actually been using with school districts of would you rather activities, social emotional learning, Lego show and tell, the unique individual you. They're all here for you. And we're so excited to share with you that you have supportive resources so kids still have that element of play to build their lifelong learning competence. So thank you for letting us share with that. So if you have more questions, please add those to the back channel chat, but I'm going to turn it back over to lovely Michelle. So thank you so very much, everyone.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Javier, Colleen, and Dave for this great webinar. The recording will be posted on our website in the next few days. Keep an eye out to our Twitter feed and as well as our website. Some upcoming activities. Our next webinar is scheduled for October 22nd, and we're going to have a roundtable discussing computer science and distance learning with some high school students. So please be sure to keep an eye out for that and join us for that. We also have a new community group that we've started called Equity and Access in CS. If you're not already a member of CS for All Teachers, please hop on over to our website and sign up for a free membership. The URL is right there, csforallteachers.org, and we will be happy to have you, happy to engage with you, get all of your CS teachers, CS for All questions answered, connect with other teachers. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and we will see you online.